Hello, it's Robert Miner with Dynamic Traders Group with this week's brief video for our Twitter followers and our YouTube subscribers. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that just until the end of the day on Monday, which I know is only a day or two away from when I'm recording this, is we have a 30% discount available for our winter student intake for our Dynamic Trader Master course. So if you're interested in that course to learn how to integrate simple basic Elliott Wave with my original fib time and price target zones and multiple time frame momentum cycles and trade plans from entry to exit, this is a very comprehensive streaming course, about 25 hours long, so it takes some effort, takes some time. But we're having our winter intake through the end of the day, Monday, March 9th. So you might want to check that out. Excuse me, it's not March 9th, it's March 6th, Monday, March 6th. Through the end of the day, Monday. If you want to register for the course, our student intake for the winter ends at that day, and there's still a 30% discount available through the end of the day on Monday. So check it out. The link is below. It's at dynamictraders.com on our education page. Check it out if you have an interest to really advance your trading, I think, dramatically. Okay, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin today. I think it's in a real interesting position, particularly sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. More than likely, there's going to be a real trade opportunity, I think, for Bitcoin. So let's take a look at it. Well, this is a Bitcoin weekly data and real important information from this chart. First, let's look at the pattern position. As you know, the pattern position I base on real simplified and practical Elliott Wave. Don't get complicated with it. We use Elliott Wave to identify if a market's in a trend or a counter trend, and generally where it probably is within that trend or counter trend. You'll notice I always use the terms probably, more than likely, because all technical analysis is about probabilities and identifying the probable position of a market and the probable outcome from that position. Well, basic Elliott Wave says that a 5-wave impulse trend should not complete a correction. So coming up from the November low into the high a couple weeks ago, near the end of February, it's just a beautiful 5-wave advance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a beautiful, impulsive 5-wave advance. Now what Elliott Wave tells us, just real basic, is that this 5-wave advance should not complete a correction. So it should be what we call wave 1 or a wave A. And following a wave 1 or a wave A, we should have then a wave 2 or B correction, followed by a third section, what we call a wave 3 or a wave C, which usually exceeds the extreme of the 1 or A. So that piece of information alone would alert us that probably Bitcoin is making a correction to this 5-wave advance. When that correction is complete, a bull trend should continue to test or exceed this February high. Most cases to exceed the February high. That's a really valuable piece of information to have. We want to then orient our focus to identify when Bitcoin is in the position to have completed a correction. Let's take a look at some more information from this chart. Simple stuff. How about our momentum cycle? Well, as of the last bar of this chart, and I'm recording this on Saturday the 4th, this last weekly bar, the weekly momentums have made bear reversal from the overbought zone. That's usually followed by at least 3 to 4 weeks, if not more, sideways to down before a weekly low is complete and that cycle low is complete. So more than likely we've got 3 to 4 weeks with Bitcoin sideways to down before this corrective decline is complete. Let's just take a look at one other piece of information, then go to the daily data. This 5-wave advance made a close above the closing high back in August. That's just another bullish feature in that the bearish pattern of lower lows and lower highs has been broken. And that itself is at least a wake-up call that the higher time frame trend may be changing. Okay, so from the from the weekly data here, information that we have is that the February high should be a wave 1 or A, followed by a correction that should last a few weeks. And we should have at least another 2 or 3 or 4 weeks to go based on the weekly momentum cycle. Let's take a look at the daily data and see where we're at. This is Bitcoin daily data. A lot of good information on this chart. It, of course, shows from the November low the nice 5-wave advance into the February high. So one of the important price relationships at this February high, which we were able to calculate and determine in advance, is the zone that's the high probability zone for the end of wave 5 target. That's typically the 127% to 162% external retracement of a wave 4. And that's right where this end of wave 5 was complete. So we knew that in around February 20th or so, around that time period, that Bitcoin had reached the end of wave 5 target zone, and then when it made a daily momentum bear reversal from that target zone, more than likely the end of wave 5 was complete. So what's the follow-up? The more than likely the follow-up. Well, first of all, if this again is a wave 1 or A as anticipated, let me put that on there, I should have put that there, a 1 or A, and we're looking for a wave 2 or B correction. A wave 2 or B correction usually reaches at least the 50% retracement. That's at 20,000, we'll round it up to 20,400. And frequently it goes a little beyond that, but usually it's right around the 50 to 62% retracement of the wave 1 or A. So more than likely, this corrective decline will not be complete until Bitcoin's declined about another $2,000 or so from where it was as of the end of the day on Friday. Typically, the retracement to a 5-wave impulse trend is at least 38.2% time retracement. Now, the 38.2% time retracement of that 5-wave trend is April 10th. So typically, we would not anticipate that a wave 2 or B correction would be complete prior to April 10th. However, that said, we've got a couple key dates coming up near late March that we want to be aware of. One is the Fed announcement on March 22nd. And frequently, many of the financial markets, including Bitcoin, makes reversals right within a day or two of a Fed announcement. Let's just look at the last few. Here's the November announcement, November 2nd. 2 days later was a little corrective high followed by a significant decline over the next several weeks. Then a few weeks later, the December 14th announcement was the very day of this bull trend. Following that announcement, the market then was basically sideways to down for a few weeks before resuming the bull trend. The February 1st announcement, the next day, little spike high, and then sideways to down for a few weeks. So here we are, the next announcement coming March 22nd. We really want to be alert of the trend position of Bitcoin going into March 22nd. If it happens to be that it's continuing this corrective decline into that period, we may have a corrective low a little before the typical time retracement. Now, that announcement is also the same week as the spring equinox. Frequently, financial markets make reversals around the equinox and the solstice. So, for instance, back in December 21st, at the winter solstice, as the market was basically declining and a couple days made it low a couple days before the solstice, and then was sideways for a few weeks before it continued to advance. So what we have coming, it's the week ending March 24th, is both the spring equinox and the next Fed announcement. Just be aware coming into that time period. Another time factor that we have right around that 38% time retracement is just the simple low to low to low on April 12th. So if by chance Bitcoin continues to decline through the next Fed announcement of that around March 22nd, Fed announcement spring equinox, really be alert around April 10th to 12th. has the potential to complete a corrective decline. So here's what we can say about Bitcoin is that more than likely it has completed a wave 1 or A in February. It's going to be sideways to down for at least another about 3 weeks, if not longer. So we don't want to get too anxious about getting long because more than likely it's also going to decline to around 20,400 or below. But what we want to do is be alert to these price relationships and these time relationships if Bitcoin indeed is sideways to down, and then we want to take a look at the pattern, assuming it's going to be a corrective pattern, which should help us at least to narrow that price target range and the time target range to complete a wave 2 or B correction if indeed that's what Bitcoin is doing over the next few weeks. So that's where we're at for Bitcoin. A lesson learned also here, our probable outcome is you don't want to get too excited right yet about buying Bitcoin because it probably has another anywhere from 10 to 20% decline before it completes a corrective low. Well, that's it for today, my folks. Remember, if you're interested in our Dynamic Trader Master Course, the student intake is only through the end of the day on Monday, March 6th, and it includes a 30% discount. So really check it out if you have an interest in having a comprehensive trading education. The link is in the comments below to get more information, a little short video where I describe the course and all the content. That's it for today. Everybody take care. Thanks for checking out the video. Robert Miner, over and out for now.